My name is Tasha Williams, and at my engagement party, my fiance's ex-wife showed up wearing a ring identical to mine. Not similar, identical. Same cut, same setting, same everything. She kept touching his arm, calling him honey, acting like I was the intruder at my own celebration. Everyone told me I was overreacting, that she was just being friendly, that I needed to accept that they had kids together and would always be in each other's lives. But then I saw it. The small tattoo on her left hip when her shirt rode up while she was laughing at something my fiancé said. A tattoo I'd only seen once before, in a photo on his phone 2 weeks ago. A photo he said was from years ago before we met, except in that photo, she had the exact same hairstyle she was wearing right now, the exact same nail polish, the exact same bracelet. My fiancé wasn't just co-parenting with his ex-wife, he was still with her, and I was the side piece who didn't even know it. Let me take you back to the beginning, because you need to understand how perfect everything seemed before it all fell apart. My name is Tasha Williams. I'm 33 years old, and I work as a pediatric nurse at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I met Brandon Hayes 2 years ago at a hospital fundraiser. He was there representing his construction company as a sponsor. Tall, handsome, successful. We connected immediately, started dating seriously within months. Brandon had been divorced for 3 years when we met. He and his ex-wife Nicole had 2 kids together, a daughter, 8 years old, and a son, 6. He was upfront about it from day one. "I'll always have to co-parent with Nicole," he told me on our 3rd date. "The kids come first. If you can't handle that, I understand." I respected it. I appreciated his honesty and his dedication to his children. I'm a pediatric nurse. I love kids. I was ready for that life. Brandon proposed 6 months ago. Beautiful proposal at Piedmont Park, got down on one knee by the lake, custom-designed ring he'd picked out himself. We set a date for next spring and started planning immediately. The engagement party was my idea. I wanted to celebrate with our families and close friends before the craziness of wedding planning took over. We rented out a private room at a restaurant in Buckhead, invited about 50 people. The party was going beautifully. My family was there, Brandon's parents, our friends, co-workers. Everyone was celebrating, toasting, having a great time. Then Nicole walked in. Brandon had mentioned she might stop by briefly to drop something off for the kids. They were with his parents for the evening. But she didn't just drop something off. She came in dressed like she was attending a cocktail party. Tight black dress, heels, full makeup, hair perfectly styled, and on her left hand, she was wearing a ring that made my stomach drop. It looked exactly like my engagement ring. Same princess-cut diamond, same white gold band, same side stones. I stared at it, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. "Tasha, you okay?" my best friend Monica asked, noticing my expression. "Look at her hand," I whispered. Does that look like my ring?" Monica squinted across the room to where Nicole was talking to Brandon near the bar. "Girl, I can't tell from here, but even if it is similar, lots of rings look alike. But this wasn't similar. This was identical." I watched as Nicole touched Brandon's arm, laughing at something he said. She called him honey loud enough for me to hear from across the room. "Oh, honey, remember when we went there for our anniversary?" I walked over to them, my heart pounding. "Hey," I said, sliding my arm through Brandon's. "Nicole, I didn't know you were staying for the party." She smiled at me. Not a warm smile, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, Brandon insisted I come in and say hello to everyone. We're still family, after all. Just because we're not married anymore doesn't mean we stop caring about each other, right, honey?" She touched his chest when she said honey again. Brandon looked uncomfortable but didn't correct her. "Nicole, you look nice," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "That's a beautiful ring." I gestured to her left hand. She held it up, examining it like she just noticed it herself. "Oh, this? Thank you. I've had it for years. My favorite piece of jewelry. I never take it off. It looks almost identical to mine." I held up my own hand. Our rings were side by side now, and there was no mistaking it. They were the exact same ring. Nicole's smile got wider. "Really? I guess Brandon has a type when it comes to jewelry." She laughed, but there was something sharp in it. Brandon cleared his throat. "Nicole, didn't you say you needed to get going? Aren't you meeting some friends?" Nicole stayed for another hour. The whole time I felt like I was going crazy. She kept finding ways to stand next to Brandon, to touch him, to bring up memories from their marriage. Remember our trip to Savannah, honey? Oh, that reminds me of when we went to that concert. Every story started with "remember when we" and ended with her touching him somewhere, his arm, his shoulder, his back. I pulled Monica aside in the bathroom. "I'm not crazy, right? She's being weird." "She's being territorial," Monica said. "But girl, he's marrying you, not her. She's probably just having a hard time with it. Some exes act out when their former spouse moves on." But it was more than that. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. That night, after everyone left, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake thinking about that ring, about how she called him honey, about how comfortable they seemed together. At 2 a.m., while Brandon was asleep, I did something I'm not proud of. I looked through his phone. I wasn't looking for anything specific, just trying to quiet the anxiety in my chest. That's when I found the photos, recent photos. Photos from what looked like 2 or 3 weeks ago, based on the date stamp. The photos were in a hidden album I found by accident. Pictures of Nicole, but not just any pictures, intimate pictures. Her lying on a couch in what looked like Brandon's living room, the living room in the house he'd bought after the divorce, the house I'd been to dozens of times. She was wearing a t-shirt and shorts, relaxed, like she belonged there. Her hair was styled exactly the way it had been at the engagement party. Same balayage highlights, same length. She was wearing the same bracelet I'd seen on her wrist tonight. And in one photo, when her shirt had ridden up slightly, I could see a small tattoo on her left hip, a delicate butterfly. I zoomed in on the photo, my hands shaking. Then I opened my phone's camera roll and scrolled to the photos from tonight's party. There was one photo where Nicole was laughing, leaning back against the bar, and her dress had shifted slightly. You could see the same tattoo on her left hip, the same butterfly. The photo on Brandon's phone wasn't from years ago. It was from weeks ago, maybe days ago. Nicole had been in his house very recently. She'd been there comfortable enough to be in a t-shirt and shorts, lounging on his couch. I woke Brandon up at 2:30 in the morning. "What's going on?" he asked groggily. "When was Nicole last at your house?" I asked. He sat up, suddenly more alert. "What? Why are you asking that?" "Just answer the question. When was the last time Nicole was at your house?" "I don't know, Tasha. She picks up the kids sometimes. Why?" "When was the last time she was there alone, without the kids?" He was fully awake now, and I could see the panic starting in his eyes. I don't remember. Maybe a few weeks ago? She needed to grab some of the kids' stuff I forgot to pack." "Was she wearing a t-shirt and shorts? Was she on your couch?" His face went white. "Tasha, I saw the photos, Brandon. The photos on your phone from 2 weeks ago. She's in your house, looking very comfortable, and she has the same hair, the same bracelet, the same everything she had tonight at our engagement party." He ran his hands over his face. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is, because what I think is that your ex-wife has been at your house recently, comfortable enough to be lounging around in casual clothes, and you took pictures of her." Brandon got out of bed and started pacing. "We're not together, Tasha. I swear we're not together." "But she's been at your house, recently, multiple times based on these photos." "She comes over sometimes when the kids aren't there to talk about co-parenting stuff, to go over schedules, finances, things like that." "In a t-shirt and shorts? On your couch?" "Brandon, those photos don't look like co-parenting meetings." He sat down on the edge of the bed, wouldn't look at me. "Sometimes we talk for a long time. Sometimes she's tired. She'll change into comfortable clothes I keep there for her." "You keep clothes there for her?" "For emergencies, for when she stays late and is too tired to drive home. It's not what you're making it sound like." "Then what is it?" I demanded, because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're still living a married life with your ex-wife while planning to marry me. "We're not sleeping together," he said, but his voice wavered. "Any more?" I asked. "Have you slept with her since we've been together?" The pause was too long, way too long. Brandon, answer the question. Once, about 6 months ago, before I proposed to you, it was a mistake. We were both emotional about something with the kids, and it just happened. I felt like I couldn't breathe. 6 months ago? You slept with your ex-wife 6 months ago, and then you proposed to me. It didn't mean anything, Tasha. It was closure. It was us realizing we couldn't go back. That's why I proposed to you, because I knew after that night that you're who I want to be with. Does Nicole know that? I asked. Because the way she acted tonight, the way she called you honey and touched you and brought up all your memories together, it didn't seem like a woman who got closure 6 months ago. He didn't answer. Brandon, does Nicole think you two are getting back together? No, I've told her multiple times we're not. But she doesn't believe you, or she's hoping you'll change your mind, and you're not doing anything to create boundaries. You're keeping her clothes at your house, you're letting her come over alone, you're taking pictures of her on your couch, you're giving her every signal that there's still a door open. I have to maintain a relationship with her, he said, for the kids. Co-parenting doesn't mean emotional intimacy. It doesn't mean sleeping together one last time. It doesn't mean letting her dress up and crash our engagement party, calling you honey in front of everyone we know. And the ring, I said. Her ring looks exactly like mine. Exactly. Is it the same ring? Brandon's silence told me everything. Oh my God. You gave her the same ring? It's not. I didn't buy her that ring. She bought it herself. Copied from mine? I don't know. Maybe. She might have seen a picture or something. Brandon, your ex-wife is wearing a copy of my engagement ring. She's showing up to our engagement party looking like she's your date. She's calling you honey and bringing up your marriage memories. She's coming to your house alone, wearing comfortable clothes, acting like she still lives there. And you slept with her 6 months before you proposed to me? I took off my engagement ring and placed it on the nightstand. I can't do this. Tasha, please. I'm not going to marry a man who can't let go of his ex-wife. I'm not going to be the woman who wonders every time you have a co-parenting meeting whether you're actually with her. I'm not going to spend my wedding day wondering if she's going to show up in a wedding dress that matches mine. That's not fair, Brandon said. None of this is fair to me, I replied. You proposed to me while you were still entangled with her. You invited me into a situation you knew wasn't resolved. That was 6 months ago. I moved out of Brandon's place that same week. He tried to fight for the relationship, tried to convince me it wasn't what it looked like, that he'd create better boundaries with Nicole. But the trust was gone. I couldn't unhear him admit he'd slept with her 6 months before proposing to me. Couldn't unsee those photos. Couldn't forget the way she looked at him at our engagement party like he was still hers. My friend Monica kept tabs on social media for me because I'd blocked both Brandon and Nicole. 3 months after I left, Monica texted me a screenshot. Brandon and Nicole together at their daughter's birthday party, his arm around her waist. Another month after that, Monica sent another screenshot. Brandon and Nicole at a restaurant, tagged as Date Night with My Forever Person on Nicole's page. They were back together. Had they ever really been apart? I don't know. Maybe he genuinely thought he was ready to move on when he met me. Maybe Nicole seduced him back. Maybe they'd been together the whole time, and I was just the placeholder until they figured their stuff out. What I do know is this. I'm 34 now. I'm single, and I'm okay. Better than okay. I dodged a bullet, a marriage built on a foundation that was never solid to begin with. I learned that when someone tells you their ex is just a co-parent, you need to watch how they actually interact. Words are easy. Boundaries are hard. And some people never really let go of their first love, even when they're promising forever to someone new. That engagement ring is in a drawer somewhere. I never returned it, and Brandon never asked for it back. Sometimes I think about Nicole wearing her identical ring, wonder if she feels like she won something. But she didn't win. She got a man who proposed to another woman while still sleeping with her, a man who can't make up his mind, a man who keeps his options open. I, on the other hand, got my self-respect back, got my clarity back, got my life back, and that's worth more than any ring, any wedding, any man who isn't sure he wants you. I'm worth someone's full commitment, not half their heart while the other half belongs to their ex, and I'll wait as long as it takes to find that, or I'll be perfectly happy alone. Either way, I'm never settling again.